Hello, welcome to PBS NewsHour today. My name is Second Gentleman Harris, or Roger Harris. Yeah. How are you doing today, Mr. Secretary?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing well today. Thanks for asking. Thank you for joining us on PBS NewsHour to begin with.
It's a pleasure for me to be here, and thank you for having me.
Not a problem. You may begin with your broadcast.
So, are we broadcasting in reference to what is happening today at 8 o'clock?
Do you think that's wise, or should we discuss your speech?
We can discuss it. You can ask me some questions if you would like. But I do know that the president has us having a press conference at 8 o'clock.
All right. Yeah, we can discuss your speech. The president recommended that I contact you about being the first speaker on NewsHour today.
So, last part again. Sorry.
Yeah. The president recommended I contact you,
Okay.
and yeah.
Okay, so we can go ahead and we can just talk about the issue that's happening right now in reference to North Korea and South Korea,
All right.
and what it is that the president is expecting or looking forward on
Right.
doing in order to helping our ally South Korea.
Yeah. I will let you begin then, Mr. Secretary.
Yes. So there are sanctions, and there are protocols that has already been established, and those have been done by the Security Council of the United Nations. The American government, also with the State Department, is continuing to monitor and continuing to see what is happening between the conflict between North and South Korea. Once South Korea has request with the State Department on requesting or needing our help, then the State Department, along with the Department of Defense, will see how best that we can move ahead and deal with that situation. At this point, I can say from the State Department point of view that all embassies that's in these countries has been shut down, and we will be bringing our citizens, tourists or individuals who are working in our embassies, we're bringing them back home as soon as possible.
Right. And how does the State Department feel about these tensions with North Korea?
Well, we all know that there has been tensions between North Korea and South Korea for a while. It is something, especially if you look at North Korea testing missiles, something that they continue to do um, over the years. But when you look at a country that's like North Korea, who does not believe that any rules or regulations are for them, and they continue to do whatever that they want to do, sometimes we have to step up and do what is best as best as we can.
And what does the U.S., like the president, plan to do about these sanctions?
Well, hopefully when she comes on, when the president comes on today, she will let the American people know what is the federal government stance on the conflict that's taking place, and what is the next step that we should do in order to brace in case that there is a war. But at this moment, I do not know what is the president's movement
Right.
at this moment, and I do wait with anticipation to hear from the president as they speak tonight.
Right. What do you think she's going to do?
Your question. What do I think she's going to do? That is a very good question. Um, like I said, one of the first things that we have done, taking instructions and taking orders from the president, and that is closing all of our diplomatic and closing all of our embassies in these countries, and also bringing our citizens back home where they are safe. What the president decides to do afterwards, it's up to the president, where it can move in many ways, where the president can tell the Secretary of Defense to have our men and women on standby, just in case that or they need to send armed forces to help South Korea.
Right. Is there more that you think that might be
But like I said, the federal government is working. We're working tirelessly. We're working with our men and women that's on the ground, and we're trying to do everything that's possible to try to bring a resolution to this problem. One of the things that we can suggest and we can recommend that um, us being a leading country and with the president being the commanding chief, to reach out to North Korea and try to bring a resolution. Most of the times, when you have individuals or two countries who cannot see eye to eye, there has to be someone who comes in the middle and bring somewhat a solution to the problem.
right?
Oh, and she's here.
Well,
I guess you can
welcome
ask her.
to the news hour, Madam President. Me and the Secretary of State here, Madam President, we're just talking about what you plan to do and all that goes with it, Madam President.
I think she's on mute.
Yeah. Madam President, if you are there, I'd like to invite you to have the stage here.
I think she's on. I have to send her a message.
Ah, yeah, I'll send her a message then. Oh, fuck. She's just listening. So, Madam President, what is your plans on the North Korean crisis? I'm not asking for all of it. I'm just asking for a general perspective. So that way, our news listeners, Madam President, can have their faith and trust that you are the best president that's out there. Oh shit. Did I just break my fucking... Sorry, 1 minute. I agree. North Korea does need to be accountable for their actions. So, what do you plan on doing, Madam President, to stop North Korea? The United States is out. Right. I get the U.S. is an ally, Madam President. I get that South Korea is an ally of the U.S. But how, in your opinion, as president, do you think that will change? Because North Korea and South Korea always go to war against each other, Madam President. Specifically when they launch nuclear, which is, in your duties as president, you're allowed to use nuclear with the authorization and approval from Congress. Okay. Okay. So, right. But what if North Korea calls their allies in? Because if they call Russia, then that is a threat the U.S. cannot handle, Madam President, unless direct negotiations with the Russian premier. Right. So do you think the U.S. right now is ready to handle the threat? And do you think we can contain it? So you don't have the approval from Congress to order an airstrike? Is that what you're saying? Pursuant to the U.S. Constitution here, actually you can, but when we're talking about nuclear, I know that is not unless you're responding it to quote unquote an ongoing or imminent attack. That is true. Pursuant to that act, however, Madam President, it does say here if that response results in a sustained conflict, then Congress will have to become involved. But that could happen at a later date. Alright, now let's turn to Secretary Blinken. Mr. Secretary, do you have any questions for the President on this CBC News Hour?
So I really wasn't able to really hear what the president was saying in the background.
Yeah, I
But
can tell
I
you right now. So the President said, she was listening. She won't say that she's the best. North Korea needs to be held accountable for their actions. Her plan, because the South Korea is an ally of the U.S., she's going to send military support to the allies. She's also going to take out North Korea using airstrikes. She will, if she has to. Basically, she wants to make it sure that the U.S. will not tolerate attacks on its allies. If Russia gets involved, then they'd have a huge problem, and we would. Basically, with that, not only do she thinks that we are ready, she thinks we can contain it because we have the power to fight more than one font. You've shown that in the past. Then you have details. She doesn't need the Congress. Doesn't need the approval of Congress to order an airstrike because the War Powers Act. She's not going to overstep Congress, and she's intends on going by the Constitution for this.
Well, I support and I stand behind everything that the president and her remarks that she has made tonight. And I have the assurance, not only with myself, but with the full cabinet and also with the State Department to support every decision that our president make to bring an end to this conflict resolution and to do that's whatever it takes to get it done. I will hope that to send our men and women will be the last solution. But we made an agreement, and we signed a treaty and an alliance with our counterpart with South Korea, and we have as the American people and as the American government, we have to fulfill out on those promises that we made.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you all for taking the time on this PBS News Hour.
Thank you for having me again.